everybody. Welcome to the Empower Half Hour. I'm Bradley W. Skinner.
I'm Frank Reneski from Southern New Jersey.
And I'm Darren Peppard from somewhere up here in the Rocky Mountains, the Rocky Mountain High.
Thanks so much for joining us. What a great week it has been already. It's only Wednesday, but it's been a great week coming off of the Power Summit, the Codebreaker Power Summit. Man, what an incredible weekend.
And it was
Absolutely.
wow.
Anytime you can get that many amazing educators that are also amazing people together, then you're right, Bradley. What a fantastic week, including tonight with our special guest.
Yeah, absolutely. Georgina really brought it with her session at the Codebreaker Power Summit. Before we bring her in, I have to say too, though, both of you guys. I mean, obviously, I get to spend a lot of time around both of you guys, and have been hosting the show with you guys now for over a year. Known you guys for a long time, but both of you guys, I'm telling you, your keynotes this past weekend were absolutely brilliant and absolutely fantastic. So kudos to both of you guys for your work. I know in both cases they were new and original, and they were amazing, both of you guys. So good work.
Hey, right back at you, brother. Right back at you. It's time. Hey, if anybody out there is looking for a job, well, we have a speaker bureau right here on the Empower Half Hour, so we're ready to hit the road. Yeah, we're opening up. So, just DM us. We'll talk.
That's right.
That's right. And talk, because that's what we do.
So
that's what we're all about.
Yes, I know, because that's all we're doing is talking right here. This lady, and if I'm not mistaken, we all know her through Codebreaker, and she has a storied past just about how she got geographically where she is, all the way from Amman, Jordan, and over there it's about 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. Whoa, there we go. Bradley with the graphic. There you go.
There you go. Well, geography lesson. Good work.
So we'll let her talk about her. Welcome to the show, Georgina Dean.
Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon, wherever is your time zone. Thank you so much for having me. It is such an honor to be on here with 3 such epic powerhouses in education. So thank you for your hospitality today.
Thanks for joining us. Let's start off. Recap just a little bit for us, for our guests that are viewing that didn't tune in to the Power Summit. Your session was for me, it was like drinking from the proverbial fire hose. It was so much, and it was incredible. So share a little bit about that, and then we'll get into more about your story, where you are and where you're coming from.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you very much. So really, really excited always to talk about creativity. And I think it's really, really important, especially in these difficult times right now in Corona. Some people are in line, some people are in lockdown, some parts of the world are just starting to feel that pressure now. And I think creativity has the power to set people free, to give them that space where they can unpack, to give them hope. And I think that it's really, really important in education that we as, leaders, as educators, that we are trying to rethink and reimagine and redefine what education could be like in the future, that we take all those awesome silver linings that we've learned from online learning, and we take the amazing practice that was happening traditionally in classrooms, and we reimagine how that could work together and what it might look like. So creative leadership is what I'm really, truly passionate about, and what my session was all about. So thanks for allowing me to relive that a little bit here.
Absolutely.
So Georgina, tell folks. I know the story because I was fortunate enough to meet you quite a while back, and you've shared it, but tell some of the folks that are watching the show tonight how it is that you have come to be in Amman, Jordan.
It's a really good question. So basically, I was born in England from the UK, which clearly you can all tell from my accent, right? Clearly. And so we moved to Canada when I was 6 years old. We immigrated there, and I had the honor of growing up in Canada, amazing country. If Brian's watching, I'm sure he'll be really happy to hear that. But honestly, it was like one of the best 20 years of my life. I can say that because I just turned 40, so I've just finished another 20, and I'm on to the next 20 now. And straight out of uni, I just decided that I wanted to help people in Africa that didn't have access to the same free education that I had the privilege of going through when I was growing up in Canada. So straight out of uni, applied to 3 different new places, and Egypt called me first, and I got on a plane and I flew to Cairo, Egypt. And I have been in the Middle East for 16 years. After the second revolution in Egypt, decided I needed a little bit of a change in weather, and flew to Monterrey, Mexico, where I worked there for a year. Did miss Africa though, so I moved back to Cairo. Egypt has this thing, it really pulls on your heartstrings. I hope one day, post-Corona times, you'll all have the opportunity to visit there. It's the place that I call my second home, I think. The land of the pharaohs, the land of the pyramids. And then, Jordan, I moved to Jordan a couple of years ago. I've been working here as Director of Learning Technology, so helping the school, K-12 international school here with their digital transformation, which came just in the nick of time before Corona hit. So it meant that I was able to help, a community of 1,000 people continue their online journey because of the transformation we're doing here. So that's a little bit of my story in a nutshell. Really exciting.
I can't even touch it. One of the things I was intrigued by is that on my list of things to do in the next 20 years is to visit the Egyptian pyramids. And I told you about a band that I've seen quite a few times called the Grateful Dead, and they played in front of the Egyptian pyramids in 1978. But that's another story. Tell us about how your school would look in person.
Oh, it's super epic. So here in Amman, Jordan, we are 1,000 meters above sea level. So we're on top of a mountain. And trust me, when it gets windy, and I'm sure there's different parts of North America that have the same, we have shutters here, and you can literally hear the shutters rattle. It's quite windy when the wind comes. But because we're living on top of a hill, it's really, really hilly. So we were excited when we first moved here because we also do a bit of triathlon, about cycling in the mountains, and we said, we're going to get really, really fit cycling on all these hills. And then of course Corona hit, so it wasn't unfortunately able to happen. But the school is really, really cool. So it's leveled because it sits up a hill. So you enter the campus, and you basically just ascend floors as you go through the campus up to the secondary level. So there's staircases and elevators, but it's really, really nicely laid out. In Egypt, when I worked there, it's more flat. The desert is a bit flat in Cairo, not unless you go out to Sinai do you get the hills, I guess you could say, the mountains. So it just depends where you are. But we're really lucky here, in Jordan. We can travel only 45 minutes down the mountain to get to the Dead Sea, which is the lowest point on Earth. So that's really cool. And then we can also travel 3 hours, except I don't remember my directions now. It's still too early in the morning for me to get to the Red Sea. So we have also the Red Sea on the other side where you can go diving. So I feel really grateful every day to be on a new space and meeting new people and experiencing new things. It's really a true blessing.
Bradley, Darren, what episode is this?
52.
I have to give a shout out to my wife, Kimmy Fran, who I see has tuned in for the first time for our 1-year anniversary show.
Oh, happy anniversary, guys.
That is epic right there. That is epic. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
nice to meet you, Kimmy.
I hope my wife is tuning in too, but I don't really know.
Yeah. Well, wow. It only took 52 episodes to get her hooked. Well, good work.
You know what?
That's all right right there.
She wanted us to warm up the stage, which we have.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, she just wanted us to prove that we were going to be able to, stay on the air for a while before she dialed in, I think. So.
Or she wants to know what I'm doing down in the basement.
It's like my
Yeah,
wife is.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and she says she's excited about Egypt. Frank, you know what that means? That means that's your first stop, right? After
We're
Corona,
there.
that's your first
We are there. Can you drive
international
there?
There you
She likes
go.
to drive.
Sorry?
She likes to drive. Can we drive there? Is there a bridge? No, probably not.
It'll take you a while.
The hard part is finding the gas station halfway across the ocean. That's going to be the challenge.
Electric cars.
There you go. Yeah.
Georgina, so how did you end up connecting with the Code Breakers?
Oh, that is a great question. I really hope Brian gets the chance to listen to this after the fact. So I'd actually been following Brian and a few of you Code Breakers for a while on social media. And I wanted to write my story. I wanted to share my story and write a book. And if any of my friends from Canada are actually tuning in on my Facebook page right now, they will definitely attest to the fact that they've been asking me to write a book for over a decade now, just about my journey in the Middle East and how, that's supporting education and all of the great stories that will come from that. So it's been a while, and I've been saying, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. So I've been watching since about last summer, and waiting for the right team, the right community that I wanted to embark upon that journey with. So I reached out to Brian. I think it was just before the Christmas holidays, and we exchanged a few messages. And then I think it was Matt Joseph posted the Leadership Lounge, and I was like, oh, that's going to be a great space for me. So I joined. It only took one episode, and then we were in touch after, and I was lucky enough that Brian invited me to join Codebreaker. So here I am with all of you epic superstars, and I'm super grateful every day to be part of this super inspiring team. Education needs people like all of you, by the way. Education globally needs all of you leaders, all of you educators that are tuning in right now. Thank you for everything you're doing in really difficult times. This is what it's going to take to change the world. All of us working together across time zones globally to really make an impact. So thank you guys for having me. Thank you for everybody out there who is doing everything. It's really, really inspiring. I say that as I turn 40, and if Shannon's watching after the fact, I'm always saying to her how excited I am to be 40 years old. I really believe this is the time. This is the time we're going to shake up education, and we're really going to make it happen this decade, guys.
That's awesome. And I got to tell you, I'm really thankful to be 40 years old as well.
Yes.
Now I said that 11 years ago, but I am really thankful to be 40 years old. But so Georgina, so you come on with Team Codebreaker, and I mean this group with Codebreaker actually, I mean, had a slogan before they knew they had the slogan, and it was the slogan carried by the guy straight up here above me here, Frank, with just being heretics, outliers, and disruptors. I mean, that's what Codebreaker is all about. So now I got to ask you this. So you've gotten to be involved with the group, with the Leadership Lounge, with so many other things, but you just experienced the Codebreaker Summit. So takeaways from the Codebreaker Summit. What other than just what were your takeaways? What stood out?
Yeah. So where do I start from there? So let's go ahead and start with you, since you asked the question, Darren. Educators matter, right? Educators matter. People need to hear that. I can't tell you how many people were probably in tears just listening. I was welled up listening to your powerful shares at the summit, and such an important timing as well, coming up to the end of the school year, when normally for a regular academic year, teachers are already feel like they're crawling to the finish line. Imagine this year when they've given double their time and space, they got nothing left. And then they hear from you, Darren, and it's just given them that extra green mile, I guess we could say, to help them finish, So thank you for that message. I really, really, really was inspired by that. Frank, what can I say about Frank? Frank is firing it up every single day. So
fired up.
We hear Frank's story, right? But before we get to Frank's story, we have Frank's longboarding. And I want to just take a second to celebrate that, because I have the privilege of waking up every morning in your future, by the way, to Frank in his tie and his shirt scooting down the boardwalk. Like, how epic is that? And I keep saying to my husband, man, I actually might take up skateboarding. He's like, Georgina, come on, you'll break your back. He might be right. I'm the clumsiest person on earth. But, Frank does that. He fires you up. He gives people what they need to want to go the extra mile, to do new things. And that is what education needs. So, Frank, thank you for firing it up all the time.
I have to tell you, since my wife's listening, the reason I started skateboarding is she wouldn't let me ride my unicycle anymore. So
probably a good call.
She said I look like a clown. I mean, I'm not.
I just got to ask Kimmy, if you have any of those pictures, please drop them in the chat.
And let me tell you this. The other day, Tuesday, when I was longboarding down the boardwalk, I took a different direction. I went towards the casinos. Usually I go away, and I talk to homeless people. It doesn't matter. So I'm zipping by, and this homeless guy pops up and he goes, "Hey, you're kind of vain, aren't you?" Because I was skateboarding with a suit on. I'm like, yeah.
Context, right? Context.
It is context, and I have to tell you, and these two guys right here, every time you think you've heard it all, then they pop up with a different story. Because I've heard them speak so many times. They've heard me speak so many times. Georgina, we've had the pleasure of hearing you speak just a few times so far. But then you think you're going to hear one thing, and bam, you get a different direction or a different perspective, different paradigm. And that's what we are. We are disruptors. And the minute we become complacent, then, hey, we're done. But that's not who we are, and that's not who you are either.
I'm so grateful to meet all of you, really. And I think that from the Power Summit, I just know, because we can see it all over social media, right? All the educators, all the leaders that were at the summit saying, like, wow, look at what we're going to do this week, and look how we're getting fired up. I was also really touched by Brian. Obviously the entire summit was amazing, but at the end of the first day, he was all, welled up, overwhelmed with joy. And it really meant something to me. Brian is like the epitome of, I have a dream and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it happen. Right. And he is helping all of us, each of us at Codebreaker, realize our dreams and give us a platform to share our vision and pull it together to hopefully help us all change education together. So it's the vibe. It's the vibe. Relationships, everything came out. But my biggest takeaway, I think, is togetherness. Yeah.
52 straight shows, relationships. There it was.
Yep.
We got it. Yeah.
True.
We're all pointing at Bradley.
I got the right direction this time.
Why,
sometimes on StreamYard, I'm like going the wrong way, but
yeah, pretty common for me. Yeah.
There were as much as it was. I mean, the entire section, everybody's individual contributions. I think one of the cool things about the summit is that it seems like for each person there is that other coworker, that other colleague, that other mentor, mentee of ours, that they just have a session that really just stood out to them. And I'll say it for me. I thought about saving this for later. I'll say it right now though. Charles Williams, his session, that's the one that hit home. That resonated so soundly and really changed a lot of my own individual perspectives. And the exciting thing I'll tell you guys here, which is super cool, is we are doing tomorrow for my last hour of the day. We're actually combining in school with about 4 other classes, and we're going into the theater, and we are having Charles is actually going to be a guest along with York Fryer. He's a professional actor of color, and they're both joining us for a discussion about topics of race and representation within the TV series of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
That's
That's
Excellent.
going to be an
Dude, you
awesome
should.
last hour.
Dude, what time is that?
That'll be at 2 o'clock.
Your time?
2 o'clock Mountain Time.
Man, can you drop the link so I can join in? I mean, I just
Yeah, well,
want to
you know
listen.
what? Maybe,
Holy
record
cow.
it.
I can. I will. We'll get that. We'll put that out there. It'll be really cool.
Georgina, before I meant to ask this earlier, but now you are one of the 3 C's. Tell us about that.
Oh, sure, no problem. So shout out to Shannon Moore and Becky from 3 Caffeinated Coaches. It's just a little podcast that we threw together. We connected also virtually about a year ago. And we were always having these side conversations, about like how we could take whatever we've learned at, a summit, a conference, books that we were reading, just having those really rich educational chats. And we said, you know what, we really should share this out. This is really good stuff. Other people could benefit from this. And so we started this podcast. You can check that out at 3caffeinatedcoaches.com. That's where the podcast lives. Little blog, little info about the 3 of us. And every couple of weeks we release a new podcast episode. It's brand new. We just started after this new year, 2021. And so you can pick out your favorite podcast and check it out there. And Shannon and Becky hit it up every other week with a disruptive, topic, I guess you could say. So bringing it real, authentic live. And every other second week, I bring a book study podcast. So we have yet for somebody to say that we weren't the first, but I think this is the first of its kind where we do an asynchronous book study. People can contribute on Google Slides over a couple of weeks, some questions that I throw together on a book that we're studying, and then I air, and I get to celebrate all of those voices on my podcast episode. So it's really been such an inspiring journey for myself. So thanks for the shout out, Frank. I'm sure the girls will be really happy for that. And so check out 3CCs on Twitter and IG as well. And
That's awesome. We definitely will. And we'll make sure that we share those links out as well after we post this episode. So join in.
Really
Check
kind
it
to
out.
you guys. It's nice to see Lisa. Lisa and I just connected on IG recently. Darren, I think I saw a picture of you guys together. So I think she's in your local PLN, yeah?
So yes, but actually, big shout out to Lisa. We've been having a conversation for a couple of, it's probably been about a month and a half. And Lisa has this amazing project that is all about just really structured planning to get where you want to be. And I cannot put it into words nearly as well as Lisa can. But Lisa is signing with Road to Awesome to put out the amazing work that she's been working on to create this amazing planning tool for people everywhere. And then she's got another little project she's working on as well that is similar. That's a Road to Awesome project that's going to pull our good friend Jillian Du Bois into the project, and probably include our little friend Blake from the Road to Awesome Kids book. So super excited for Lisa and the work that she's doing. And oh my gosh, if you've connected with her now, and I know you two guys have too, I don't know that there's anybody who brings more energy than Lisa. She is seriously got the energy going on. So it's very exciting. Thanks for bringing that up, Georgina. I appreciate it.
No, I'm super excited to find her on IG. I checked out a couple of her posts, videos. She has a podcast, so I'm hoping to check that out this weekend as well. And as Darren said, Lisa, you're doing all those amazing things. So thank you, and keep on the great work. It's people like you, people like Bradley and Frank and Darren that are really going to shake up education. So if you're out there, if you're new to education tuning in, if you're already an educator, there is never a better time to fire it up than right now. 2021 and the decade ahead is just going to be absolutely epic. So if you're in education, be there and fire it up. Super exciting.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Whew.
Yeah.
The time just goes.
I think we know where that takes us.
It just goes so quickly. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So did that graphic come up? I can't see it.
It was a quick
There
blink.
we go.
Yeah, there we go.
It was like a flash of lightning. It was awesome.
If I can get
Well,
it
that's
to-
what the whole half
to go
hour
away.
is like a flash of lightning. So it just.
You're right, Darren. I have like 2 sips of coffee before the show, guys. Darren said the
I
show
told you.
will fly by before you finish your coffee, and he was right.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was wrong. I said I would finish my beer, and I have not. So.
Oh. So who starts the final thoughts, guys?
I'm trying to
We're
get it
stuck in the.
here.
We're stuck
Oh,
in
okay.
final thoughts.
Whoever
It really,
Whoever
it really wants us to show that
totally off the
it
cuff.
disappears. There we go. Now it's gone, I think.
All right.
Um,
Now here we go. Spin the wheel. Let's see who it is.
It is going to be
Bam, I'll go. Okay. Listen, guys, what an incredible week, as Darren said earlier. And Georgina, we salute the greatness in you. We appreciate you. Who else? What other educator wants to disrupt in the middle of their night to come and spread the great news about what's happening all over the world? So nothing but gratitude. Keep up the great work. And a message to everyone out there is that it's okay to be sad, but it's also okay to be happy. So peace and love always win. See you soon.
all right. My turn. I'll go now. I never should have doubted that Melissa, my wife, was watching because she's always there. She's super supportive. So thanks, babe. Love you. And next week on the Codebreaker Twitter chat on May 4th, Melissa and I are
May
actually
the 4th.
setting
May-
that one up. And
May
this is
the
going to be right
4th.
up Frank's alley. Our topic that we're going to be discussing are all lessons we've learned in education from Star Wars.
I love that.
Yeah.
I might actually have to
Wow.
It's going to be a good one.
See, I'm already thinking about that now. So I'll come back to this. So I actually wrote down my final thought very early in the show after hearing again Georgina's story in terms of just where all she has been, and I just kept picturing. And I don't know, Georgina, if you play the guitar or maybe it's a laptop case, but it's got to be covered in stickers, from all the different places that you've been. And what it makes me think about is, next Monday, I have the opportunity. Oh, by the way, Bradley, I'm going to be in Rock Springs on Monday. I have an opportunity on Monday to speak at an event that is in essence a retirement celebration for a former teacher that I worked with that's retiring after 34 years. And the more I've been thinking about this, that's becoming the rarity. Education is a very nomadic business at this point in time. And the message I want you to get from that is that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Imagine what the staff and the students learn in Jordan from Georgina, from her journeys. Imagine what students are learning just with what Bradley's going to be doing tomorrow in his classroom, and the number of different locations that Bradley has been and the connections that he has made, and being able to bring these perspectives from all different places just makes education that much better. So for the nomads out there, hey, all educators matter, but I'm going to say right now, you nomads, you matter.
I just had to take a moment to take a deep breath because there's just so much love in this team. I'm overwhelmed every time I hear you guys speak. Really, thank you. My final thoughts are exactly that: our global connections. I mean, and you guys know me, and people watching, if you know me, know that I'm really passionate about creativity. But that creativity also sparks from the people that you surround yourself with. And that is the same for education and how we're going to try to improve that. I think it's going to be a better place for all because we are connected. And so shout out to Matt Joseph, who gave a great session also on the power of the PLN, right? The power of professional learning networks and connections. And like Darren just said, I'm joining all the way from Jordan. If you have the opportunity to connect with people in different spaces, I'm so blessed to be here in Africa and the Middle East, and I can't tell you the amount of amazing, epic, inspiring educators and leaders that I've met here locally in this part of the world that are doing incredible things in such difficult situations. And I think we talk about empathy as well, right? And that learners matter and kindness matters. And it's really important to connect our learners of all ages and educators with those from other parts of the world. So if you have the opportunity to connect with an educator and get your students talking and sharing and collaborating across time zones, please take the opportunity to do that. Your world will open up as mine has, and it's really beautiful on the other side, guys. So take the risk, be creative, and enjoy the ride. Thank you for having me.
Everybody get out there, have a road to awesome week.
We look forward to seeing you next week.